Beidou is one of Genshin Impact's biggest failures. Now wait a minute, let me explain myself. Beidou has one of my favorite character designs and she has an insane backstory. You know that voice line that she yells when she uses her elemental burst?
Power that ended Haishan!
Yeah, Haishan was a gigantic sea creature that she fought for 4 days. Do you know the level of endurance that it takes to throw hands for 4 days straight? Boxing rounds are only like 3 minutes long. After 4 days of waiting, she finally found her opening, and she defeated this legendary Leviathan with a single swing. And after defeating the beast, she was granted an Electrovision. Now I know what you're thinking. You're probably saying, man, Beidou sounds really freaking cool. She has to be a 5-star character, right? Nope. She's only a 4-star character. Weird. That's why I think that Beidou is one of Genshin's biggest failures, because I feel like she should have been so much more. That is why today we are going to attempt to build a lore-accurate Beidou. What's up? My name is Taiyuji, and today we are going to be building Beidou. Now, Beidou has been one of my favorite characters since the release of Genshin Impact. She is a 1.04-star character. She still has one of my favorite character designs, even in version 5. She does indeed have the power that slayed Haishan. But yeah, basically she is a very cool character, and I really like her kit as well. Especially in version 1.0, there was literally no other elemental skill like hers in the game yet. So basically, have you ever seen 7 Deadly Sins? You know the move full counter? Yeah, that's basically what Beidou does. Now, what you're supposed to do is when you're holding this shield, you're supposed to take 2 hits at least, and then after you take 2 hits, that's when you get the max damage, like the better version of the elemental skill. So it's not technically a parry, but the reason why we call it a parry is because there is a parry mechanic built within it. Normally, you have to wait and take 2 hits to receive the max damage bonus, but if we look at her Ascension 1 passive, we see that when counterattacking with Tidecaller at the precise moment when the character is hit, that automatically grants the maximum damage bonus. So in that case, you would only have to take 1 hit if you were able to time it right. Now, if we come over to the Jade Plume Terror Shroom and we hit the Jade Plume Terror Shroom with an attack, you see we do 2,789 damage. But if we wait until and then we do a parry, now you see we did 10,835 damage, which obviously way more than the normal elemental skill. As far as her elemental burst, this is Beidou's main source of damage, and it is probably the reason why she isn't played as much today. Her burst sends out a little lightning ball that will bounce between enemies whenever you hit them with a normal or charge attack. So Beidou does pretty well when you're fighting multiple enemies, because in that case, her elemental burst is actually able to bounce off of enemies and do more damage. But when you are fighting a single enemy, then the burst doesn't have anywhere to go. It is an unfortunate side effect of Genshin deciding to have us fight a single boss enemy more often, as opposed to giving us content that required AoE damage like they did in the past. But yeah, that is Beidou's elemental skill. I think that is one of the things that make her pretty unique, and it makes her very fun to play. And that is why I've always had a soft spot for Beidou. And that is why when somebody asked me to do another video, I think that one of my very first videos was a Beidou guide. So when somebody asked me to do another one, I was like, for sure, I could talk about Beidou all day. So I have already built Beidou at one point in time, but I haven't used her recently. That is why she doesn't have her artifacts on or anything like that. Nowadays, it might be a little bit more important to take Beidou up to level 90, especially if you're using her in a Quicken or Aggravate team, because that damage does scale off of your character's level. So if you're using her in Quicken or Aggravate, I would recommend that. If not, you might be able to get away with leveling up your other characters first, eventually coming back to leveling up Beidou to level 90. As far as weapons go, I did get 5 battle passes, and I did get 5 copies of Serpent Spine. The reason why I have an R5 Serpent Spine was specifically for Beidou. Now, as far as other weapons go, you could use something like Favonius Greatsword. That doesn't really do much for her personal damage, though. That would help her out with her energy issues or your team's energy issues. You could use an R5 Rain Slasher, which does really help, especially in the teams that I use her in. I usually use her in Electro Charge teams and such. So if your opponent is affected by Hydro or Electro at R5, you get a 36% damage increase. Also, you could use Sacrificial Greatsword. This would help her with her personal energy, and it gives you the ability to use 2 elemental skills back to back. If you have it R5, there is an 80% chance that it just ends the elemental skill cooldown. So you could get 2 parries off in a row, which feels pretty cool. So Sacrificial Greatsword isn't the worst option. But some of her more premium options are, you could use Mawika's weapon, Thousand Suns. You could obviously use R5 Serpent Spine. You could use Beacon of the Reed Sea, which was Dea's weapon. That weapon is probably pretty hard to get, so if you don't already have it, don't even worry about it. If you happen to have this event weapon, the Ultimate Overlord's Mega Magic Sword, you could definitely use this one, especially if you do all of the Melazine quests. You do get a hefty attack percent bonus. I probably should R5. People always say, like, how do you not have that refined? It's just because I don't refine them usually until I'm actually using them. I haven't built this weapon yet, but it is R5. Okay, guys, it's okay. It is R5. Same here. Flame Forged Insight. It is refined. I will be building this because I am going to use this for the character that it was designed for. So it is R5. Please don't come at me in the comments. And then if you happen to have this, the fish weapon, this is also a pretty good beta weapon, and it's a good free-to-play option if you were playing at the time when this event weapon came out. And as far as artifacts go, you are probably curious about that, but you're probably more curious why I'm now in a different shirt and why I'm shaved now. Unfortunately, something came up that day, so I wasn't able to finish recording the same day. This is actually multiple days later, and I'm really sorry about that. I'm really sorry that happened, but let's continue from where I left off. But as far as artifacts go, I think that Emblem of Severed Fate is her general best in slot artifact set, but we are trying to make a lore accurate Beidou today. These numbers are not going to cut it because I don't have a very good Emblem of Severed Fate artifact set. So just to get a better crit rate to crit damage ratio, I'm going to be using a two-piece set bonus of, I think, probably Golden Troop and Noblesse Oblige. Oh yeah, that's looking pretty good. 80% over 189% crit damage. Unfortunately, that does leave us with 106% energy recharge, so that is going to be an issue. It is very unfortunate because Beidou's Elemental Burst requires 80 energy. That is a lot of energy. So I don't know if we're going to get her Elemental Burst back too often, but you know, it is what it is. So for this build, we have attack percent Sands, electro damage bonus Goblet, and a crit damage Circlet. My Beidou is C6. I'm very proud of that. It took me way longer than it should have to get her C6. And we are at 6, 13, 13 talents. And now for teams. Beidou can actually work on multiple different teams. Really good partners with Beidou are Fischl and Auroron. Like if you were using a Taser team or an Electrocharge team, then Auroron is a really good partner, especially in that case. Fischl is probably one of her better overall partners because Fischl generates energy just by having odds on the field. Fischl is also an Electro character, so you do get the Electro Elemental Resonance bonus. Sucrose Fischl Beidou is a pretty good base. You can choose to use a Dendro character like Nahida. You could run this for like a quick and aggravate team. You could also swap out Nahida for a Hydro character like Sing Cho or Yulan. And then boom, you have an Electrocharge team. Most of the time people go Sing Cho because you get double damage reduction. Beidou has damage reduction whenever she activates her Elemental Burst, and then Sing Cho also has damage reduction. So on this team, even though you don't have a healer or a shielder, you're usually pretty good still just because of how much damage reduction you get. But also you can always use an overload team as well because Chevreuse is an option. So you could do something like this. I actually kind of want to try out this team. It's just unfortunate because Beidou doesn't do well against boss enemies, which in the overworld, it's really hard to test against anything else besides boss enemies because overworld enemies die really quickly. So usually you have to go to bosses. Oh my god, 117k. But unfortunately, since it's a boss enemy, you don't like get full use of Beidou's burst because it's only bouncing on one enemy. So like but 117k parried elemental skill, that seems pretty good. Yeah, guys, let's try out this aggravate team real quick. I don't know if this will really help this team specifically, but we can go for it. Wait just a sec. Chill. Okay. Now, oh, is it gonna just fall over? Come on, hit me. Oh my goodness, bruv. Oh my gosh, this guy. See, that is one unfortunate thing about Beidou, is that she does rely on the enemies actually swinging at her. No crit. Oh my god, no crit. 80% crit rate. 80%. Bro, are you kidding me? Because I can already tell it's going to do less damage. I'm just trying to confirm exactly how much less damage it's doing. Okay, and then I still... Are you kidding me? Bro, I swear. Wait, what's it? 80%. 80%, you're telling me. I missed a crit 3 times in a row. 80% crit. The math is not mathing. Okay, 106k. Cool. I'm so glad that I know that now. This one is called Surprise Attack Beidou, though. Check this out, right? Surprise Attack Beidou, we switched to walk mode. We're like, I never did nothing to nobody, right? But then you swap to Beidou as soon as they're attacking you. Surprise.
Surprise, motherfucker.
But anyway, Surprise Attack Beidou is not really good. Let's swap to something else. Now I've got to try this out, though. I like, with the power of Bennett and Eon-san, yo, how much are we hitting? 180k, bro. 180k elemental skill. Let's go. Oh gosh, that was so satisfying. Just say, like, blocking all of that. Look, blocking all these hits, and then we're playing 199k. That wasn't even our final form. Oh yes, good job, Beidou. I'm very happy with what you've done here today. Very happy. But now we have to start farming for Nahida because everybody is bullying me into building her, and that is completely fine. But right now it is Tuesday, and that means that we can farm her materials. And honestly, I would rather use Auroron for this team, but as we can see, my Auroron is level 1. Wait for the Auroron build video. It will be legendary. I need to build Auroron. I think I'm C3. Yeah, I really need to build this character. Like, there's a lot of times where I'm like, dang, Auroron would go hard here. Don't have Lanyon built on this account either. On weapons only, though. On weapons only, I do have. Man, I'm just realizing how many characters I need to build. Diluc! No, there's so many characters I need to build. Just saying, if you have Auroron built but not official built, Auroron's probably actually better. And the cool thing about Electrocharge teams is they're really easy to play because, like, you're naturally swirling Electro and Hydro while Electrocharge is going off. It's this, like, weird thing where Electro and Hydro can kind of coexist, and you're able to just swirl both of them naturally. Like, as long as you're applying enough Hydro and Electro, you'll probably accidentally swirl both of them. So you're proccing the Viridescent artifact set on both elements pretty easily. Or at least that's how I understand it. Anybody who is like a Genshin theory crafter or knows more, tell me in the comment section down below. All I know is that taser teams just work, okay? Okay, to properly showcase this, I need more enemies. And I'm pretty sure on this side, yeah. There's like a bunch of treasure hoarders on this first half. So great way to showcase this right here. We can just go right here. Boom. Everybody hold hands. Oh, get in there. Yes, sir. See, look how fast that clears. It just completely obliterates everything in your path. Or at least if there's a bunch of tiny enemies, like, you know, like smaller, less health enemies, then it obliterates all of them. If it's just one person, doesn't really do that much. All right, generally, I feel like how I want to play this is just kind of group around the person who summons the Pokemon, and then we just beat the crap out of them. Everybody else just, like, usually tends to be kind of aggressive. I thought I can catch the tail end of that, unfortunate. Yeah, it looks like everybody else is kind of aggressive and will just, like, come over to you anyways. $834? That's not bad. $834, you know, that is higher than a minute 30. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's decent. I feel like it's pretty good. So easy. So easy. All right, please don't go anywhere. Both of you. Please do not go away. Thank you. Okay, they didn't move. Oh, that parry feels so good. Oh, gosh, no. Dude, are you kidding me? It was going so well. It was going so incredibly well. And then you decided to do this. It should be fine. Should be fine. Normally, I feel like we can get a better time if this doesn't happen. Right? Like, them separating like that, like, we should have already been done with that a bit ago. But it is what it is. Yeah, this is a really bad time now. Ooh, boy. Oh, boy. Okay. It's alright. We can make it up. We can make up for it in the second half. It is okay. I didn't play that super well. It's okay. Beidou's still a good character. Trust me. See, the first half was the hard side. Look at that. Yeah, see, look, we still have so much time left. So much time left. This side is going to be harder because Beidou is no longer in AoE combat, so she doesn't do as well here. But that's okay. That's okay. Beidou is still like decent in single target combat. Like, I'll show you in a second. Like, it's still all right. Like, you just obviously aren't going to be doing as much damage as you normally would. See, like, right here, like, we can still rack up some damage. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're still putting in work. We're still getting it done. Boom, respectable time. 8 minutes 30, you know? Respectable time. And there it is. All 36 stars with Beidou. But also, I feel like you could do something like this. You could use Yelan, Farina, like Kuki Shinobu for heals. Or if you had Dory built, I need to build Dory. But if you had Dory built, you could use her as a healer. And also, as I said, Sucrose Auroron, I feel like would work a little bit better. Oh, wait, why didn't I do this? Oh, wait a second. Hazo? Wait, we could do like Farzon. Okay, no, never mind. We're getting a little too... Okay, no, that would be like 0 energy recharge. Beidou would need to run Fav Greatsword. So that is Beidou. She came out in version 1.0, still one of my favorite 4-star characters even today. It's a little unfortunate because she's not as good as she was back then, and that's just more about the content that Genshin Impact is like releasing. They are starting to favor single boss enemies that just have a lot of health, and Beidou was designed to tackle AoE content, so it's just harder to use her against just a single boss. But Beidou is still a lot of fun. On the fun scale, Beidou is still a 10 out of 10. I freaking love Beidou's playstyle. I really enjoy her parry mechanic. But that is going to be all for today's video. If you watched the entire thing, thank you so much for watching. It really helps me out. Next time, I think I'm going to finally build Nahida because I've just been getting kind of bullied in the comment section. Apparently, you're supposed to actually build limited 5-star characters that you pull for. I don't know. It was news to me. I didn't realize. So I think that we have to build Nahida next for sure. After Nahida, it's probably going to be Auroron, Dory, Diluc. I don't know, one of those. Let me know in the comment section down below. Who should I build next? And just remember, you don't have to believe in yourself. Believe in me. Believe in the me that believes in you. And I'll see you in the next video.